Hello everyone, welcome to the Average Student IS. Today is 9th Feb 2019 and I am going to start the discussion on the Hindu. Okay, so here I will be telling you that which article today we are going to discuss and which article we are not going to discuss. So this article actually is related to politics about the Jharkhand, so we must not be discussing. This article is about Nigerian internal politics, so we will not be discussing this one. And this article is very much important about our Indian economy, and it is showing the data about unemployment data about the Indian economy. So we will be discussing it in a broader detail with covering its basic part. This is also about Iranian revolution, so we will not be discussing this one, and again this one we will not discussing. So let's start with the first article. This actually is surveying India's unemployment number. You can relate this article with paper 3 part as well as paper 2 part. Okay, so let me tell you that what is unemployment. Just suppose unemployment occurs when a person is actively searching for employment or any kind of a job but is not able to find any kind of a work which he is looking for. In that case it is known as unemployment. If he is not been able to find that, and that person is known as unemployed person. Okay, so unemployment is basically bad for our economy and it indicates that our economy is not functioning well. So it is a kind of a indicator for any kind of a economy. So there have been types of unemployment in our economics, so we will be covering each and every types of unemployment. So first is the open unemployment. So open unemployment is a condition in which people have no work to do and they were willing to do some kind of a work but they don't get any kind of a work. That is known as open unemployment. Second one is structural unemployment. So it occurs due to a structural change in economy. The structural change can be due to the technology. Just suppose we get some new kind of, like you know that after the innovation of computer, most of the people were telling that there were this, due to this technology a lots of unemployment will be generated. So this is known as the technological change or a structural change in the economy. Okay, next next is frictional unemployment. So what is this frictional unemployment? It occurs when a worker is shifting to one job to another job. Just suppose that if someone is changing his job from one company to another company, then it is known as a frictional job. It's if you can say that it is a kind of a temporary unemployment. Cyclical unemployment. So it's occurs because of fluctuation in the economy. Just suppose most of the time we have a boom in the economy, recession in the economy, or a recession in depression in the economy. Due to this cyclical unemployment happen, and this is a temporary phenomenon. This doesn't occur most of the time. Underemployment is a situation in which employed persons are contributing to the production less than they are capable of. So just suppose I am capable of doing 100 works per day, but I am doing 60 or 70 works per day. This is dubbed as under unemployment. Disguised unemployment. What is this? This is mostly find in our agriculture system. So disguised unemployment is a person is the one who seems to be employed but actually he is not. Like in agriculture, you know that in a small patch of field, the whole family is working. Definitely this work can be done by a 1 or 2 member of the family, but 10 members are engaged in that employment. This is known as a disguised unemployment. One is the seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment actually that it is also happen in the agriculture sector most of the time. Just after one season you have to be employed until and unless next season won't come. Okay, so let's discuss this article in detail. That actually government of India doesn't produce any measures to monthly unemployment rate, nor it doesn't have any plan to do so. So government of India doesn't have any measures to release the report on the unemployment data. Okay, official plan to measure the unemployment and the annual and quarterly frequency is a total disorder. If you look at that, India is a signatory to a special data dissemination standards. Okay, here which is been released by International Monetary Fund, and if under this provision they have to release the unemployment data monthly, unemployment rate monthly, but India being signatory to this doesn't release any data monthly. A claim has been made by Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, a private enterprise, to demonstrate that over the past 3 years that the fast frequency measures of the unemployment can be made. So he is citing a reason that we can produce the unemployment data in a faster frequency way, but that has not been carried out by NSSO. Okay, currently we have a higher frequency survey, means that we present the data of the year, not quarterly or a monthly data as that has been suggested there. As we know that employment data has been collected by NSSO, but its frequency is quite high. Okay, this institute CMIE had decided to fill the gap in generating the fast frequency measures of the household well-being in 2014. So this agency has taken the responsibility to actually increase the frequency of data measurement. So in its household survey, a consumer pyramid household survey, the sample size was taken as 1,72,365 as compared to the official National Sample Survey Organization, which take the data of 1,01,724. Okay, so consumer pyramid household survey actually is a comprehensive survey of entire survey for every 4 months. So each survey is a kind of a wave, means that it will take 3 waves to complete a 1 year data, definitely. So CPHS is continuously serving, and so for example 3 waves is completed in 3 years. Okay, in a year. Okay, so CMIE is a part of CFHS. Okay, so thus it has a much larger sample and conducted at a much higher frequency than NSSO. So it has been suggested that the NSSO can also implement their provision while collecting the data. So let's look at that how they collect the data. So CFHS collect the data by face-to-face interview, necessarily by using the technology like GPS and smartphone, tablet, and because of this use of technology, their validation of data is quite more as compared to the NSSO data. Definitely they will be capturing a better data as compared to the NSSO. So the difference between CPHS and NSSO survey is that the reference period of employment status to the respondent. While the NSSO try to capture the status of the entire year for a week, so it is capturing the entire year within a week, but CFHS capture the status on the day of the survey, and it is complete its cycle in a three period, like 4 months period. So this could be a 1/4 factor which NSSO doesn't capture in a much broader way, like employed, unemployed, willing to work and actively looking for a job, unemployed, willing to work but not actively looking for a job, and unemployed but neither willing nor looking for a job. So this data were not been comprehensively captured by them. So actually CPHS has been able to capture this status fairly accurately with no challenges, while NSSO is a quite complex system. Okay, so let's look at is the key finding. The most important message from the data is that India labor participation rate is very low to the world standard. If you look at the world standard, our unemployment rate is quite low, and this is even the low in participation rate very sharply fall after the demonetization. If you look at the data of October 2016, we have a average labor participation rate was 47% during this, but world was 66%. So definitely we are lagging behind from the world standard also. Immediately after the demonetization, Indian labor participation fell to 45%. It was 47, and it was a 2% of the working age population. And if you look at this, 30 million people moved out of the labor markets. So definitely unemployment rate is falling in the positive sense. So now look at the female position in the employment rate. Significantly, if you look at that, India's female labor participation is quite low from the historical points of time also. Obviously statistics has been always shown that the Indian female labor participation rate is quite low, and it is also falling day by day. So researchers has highlighted some data that why their actually participation in the labor is decreasing because of rising household income that reduces the need of women to join the labor force. Increased enrollment in the higher education by women which delay their entry into the labor force. Cultural and security factor that keeps women away from the labor market in India. it is also evident that employers is also biased against hiring the women. So CPHS shows that the situation with respect to women participation in the labor market is extremely poor and much poorer than what the official agencies tell us. So CPHS data, we can rely that it is telling that the status of women is quite extremely much more poorer than it is shown by the official. Even after the demonetization, lots of impact has been on the women's labor force, and some of the impact was also just after the goods and service tax, which was implemented in July 2015, and this caused a substantial loss of jobs. So if you look at the data, the employment shrunk by 11 million in 2018, and the burnt is against borne by largely by women, but men too also impacted. Okay, so male labor participation rate is 74.5 in 2016. This dropped to 72.4 in 2017 and again 71 in 2018. So in contrast, if you look at the women participation, there was low, actually 15.5 in 2016. It also decreases and it came to 11% in 2018. Even the urban, if you look at the urban female labor participation rate, fell faster than the rural female participation. Look at the data here, that how their participation is decreasing day by day. It was 15.2% in 2016, but it was 10.5% in 2020. So definitely rural women were 15.6% and they were 11.3% respectively. Although the female labor participation is substantially much lower than male participation, few women who try to venture to get the employment find it difficult to find the job than a man. So if you look at the unemployment rate of men was 4.9% in 2018, that the women in the same year is much higher. It is a 14.9%. Okay, so here conclusion has been suggested that the higher unemployment rate faced by women in spite of very low participation rate indicates a biased against the employing women. So definitely we are biased against the women. If you draw into the labor force by removing the impedance they face, at least by bringing the participation level close to the global standard, is critically important for India to gain its demographic dividend demographic dividend opportunity it has. This window of opportunity is open until 2013. By not using a good data monitoring machinery, Indian government is keeping both itself and citizen in the dark. Okay, thank you very much.